everybody.
Good morning.
Wow, look at all the people. Where are they? We are so excited to have you here, though, and more will be showing up, and we're glad to have you here at Unity in Ashland. Is anyone here for the very first time? Ever been to Unity in Ashland before? Yes. What's your name and where are you from?
Celine.
I'm sorry?
My name is Celine. I was raised here.
All right, Celine from Ashland. Welcome. Some others? No? Okay. Well, it's a very special day. It's a very auspicious time of not only this year, but of, 26,000 years? It's just a very important time that we are still going through. And a lot of it has to do with friends. We're going to actually be looking at friends and memories, the memories we have from this past year, and the memories we're creating for the future. It's about moving into a new year in this new way. We'd like to start with some announcements, and one announcement is that there will not be a prayer circle tomorrow evening because it'll be New Year's Eve. So you can still put in a prayer request back there, and it'll be prayed for next week. Also, what better way would there be to share with your friends than to do something on New Year's Eve? And the Havara would like me to announce their New Year's Eve multi-generational dance party. And that is with Geriatric and the Pacemakers. Jerry, his name is Geriatric and the Pacemakers is the band. It's going to be tomorrow night starting at 8 o'clock right here at the Havara. Tickets I see are available at the Music Coop. It's $13 a person or $23 for a whole family. So bring your whole family, get a discount. It's a little bit more if you wait until you get to the door. But anyway, it sounds like a wonderful thing to come to. Another exciting announcement is that a friend of Reverend Norma's, and by the way, Reverend Norma is still with her mom in Florida visiting, so she'll be back next week. But a friend of hers, a client who lives somewhere further away, has donated $5,000 to Unity in Ashland to help us out. And she is asking that we match that by the end of the year. And that gives us like today and tomorrow. So she would like us as a congregation to be able to match that $5,000. So we are asking for your generosity as much as you can, as close as we can come to that. If we can match that gift, it is a tax-deductible donation, so it benefits you also. And this will really help get Unity through and help Norma to have a little bit of time to finish her book and just really help us. So that's part of being community here. Please help us out. It was 5 days after Christmas, and all through the place, not a cell phone was ringing. Nowhere in the space. There's no end to the story, but what do you say? Let's turn them all off and have a nice, quiet day. We're going to move right into some music by Heather Hutton, and we have Darcy Danielson on piano today. Let's get Darcy in.
And with a little help from one of our good Unity friends, Jane Sterling, she'll join me on this. And you all, would you sing this with us? Because I think you know it. It's called With a Little Help from My Friends, Lennon and McCartney. Do you want to stand up? What would you do if I sang out of tune? Would you stand up and walk out on me? Lend me your ears and I'll sing you a song, and I'll try not to sing out of key. Oh, I get by with a little help from my friends. Oh, I get high with a little help from my friends. I'm gonna try a little help from my friends. What do I do when my love is away? Does it worry you to be alone? How do I feel by we have another song. So, on the subject of friendship, I wish I could remember the name of the show, but have you seen the show? It's called like Unlikely Animal Friends or something. I just saw it for the first time the other night, and it was stories of a boy and a buffalo being friends, a dog and a deer, a dog and a dolphin. It was so sweet, like the most unlikely friendships. And this is kind of unlikely friendship. This is a song called You've Got a Friend in Me from Toy Story, where the toys, I forgot the boy's name. Kids, do we have kids here? Has Sophia seen Toy Story? So I think the toys are Woody and Buzz, and they sing this, and they become they come to life and become the boy's friend. And this is the song from that by Randy Newman. You've got a friend in me. You've got a friend in me. When the road looks rough ahead and you're miles and miles from your nice warm bed, you just remember what your old pal said. Son, you've got a friend in me. Yeah, you've got a friend in me. Remember this one? You've got a friend in me. You've got a friend in me. You got troubles, then I got them too. There isn't anything I wouldn't do for you. If we stick together, we can see it through. 'Cause you've got a friend in me. Yeah, you've got a friend in me. Now some other folks might be a little bit smarter than I am, bigger and stronger too, maybe, but none of them will ever love you the way I do. Just me and you, boy. And as the years go by, our friendship will never die. You're gonna see it's our destiny. You've got a friend in me. You've got a friend in me. You've got a friend in me.
Thank you. We can have the children come up now. The child, is there more? Are there more children in the house? Sophia, would you like to come up here and be blessed? Or she can be blessed right there. If she doesn't want to come up, that's fine. Can I come up? It's a little scary when there's not a lot of other kids up here, huh? Sometimes our children are our best friends, aren't they? Of course, they go through that stage, and then they get into their 20s and they're friends again. So if you reach that stage, there's a light at the end. So we're talking about friends today, and we like to bless our little children, and we do that by rubbing our hands together and focusing that towards Sophia and all of the inner children here as well. And together we say, "We love you. We appreciate you, and we behold the Christ light shining in you." Sophia, you going to go off with your teacher, with Esther today? So we have several offerings today. A couple of offerings are going to be fun. First of all, a person that I have always introduced as Sultry Jane, because she has that sexy, sultry voice, Jane Sterling. But actually, it is Dr. Jane Sterling. She has a PhD in holistic nutrition. Who knew that? She is a sculptor. She is, of course, our videographist. Is that what a female videographer would be? She is a project and production manager. She is a biofeedback practitioner. But she is our Sultry Jane, and she's going to be sharing some of her memories and some of her her friends that she has had connections with. So let's give a warm welcome to Jane Sterling.
Hi, everyone. Well, it's interesting that I'm standing up here, and I was remembering a story when I was in 8th grade, and I was in history class, and the teacher was waiting. There was a projector. We were going to see a film, and the AV squad. They had an AV squad, and they were waiting for someone to come in to work the projector, and no one showed up. So she asked the class, "Is there anyone in AV in this class?" And I raised my hand. And I had never touched a projector before. And so who knew that moment was really a very significant moment for me, since I'm really into tech. And also that I was so brave to just do something I've never done before. I did fortunately have some instructions on the projector, and the only thing they didn't tell me is not to stick your finger in to stop the reel. So hopefully I won't get too injured doing this talk. When we were Norma and I were talking about trying to find someone to talk for the 30th, and I found myself like, she said, well, maybe we'll have a few people do this, and so I said, well, I'll do something, and I always have an opinion or something to say, so it came out that Karen Douglas, who's going to do the next thing after this, we were sitting with Donna, and Karen said, well, why don't we have people share Christmas memories? And my body contracted just hearing that. And just because, I'm Jewish and don't have many memories, but... that really wasn't the reason, but the truth is that this holiday, this year for Thanksgiving and Christmas, has been a very different holiday for me, in that I didn't spend time with friends, and I wasn't with community on those holidays, which was an edge for me, because, I've been living alone. My dog died last year, so this was like the first time to really feel that being alone and loneliness. So part of my work with the Journey to Completion that Norma does, this particular round was to be able to be self-fulfilled, no matter if I'm in a relationship or not. And so I knew that this was a test. Okay, you weren't invited anywhere. And so what I remembered how it used to be with my family, which was in Thanksgiving, we'd go with all the family members and have a great meal, but I always felt alone even when I was with my family. So here it was again, 50 years later. And I'm knowing that this is all kind of orchestrated for my own healing and my own self-fulfillment. So I did feel kind of bah humbug about sharing Christmas memories. But actually, what I have done and what I do is that I think about all the people that I have had in my life, many, many years of different sets of friends, in different communities that I've been a part of. I'm actually wearing my best friend's ring. He died at 46. We grew up together from elementary school, and when he died, actually what was left was just this pure love, just knowing. It was surprising to me. I mean, maybe because he didn't live here that I didn't see him as much, but we talked every week a couple of times, but I just had the love in me. It was so there. And then I also have my grandmother's necklace on, which I haven't worn in a while. And she had a lot of, guts, and she's pretty, she survived her daughter dying and her husband dying, and was just a really strong character. And I could see her, if she was doing my life, she would be jumping up here and talking too. So, what really has been my process is to really access what is here. I know that I have a tendency to see what's missing and what's lacking. And I'm addicted to that. And, so to state like for the new year, I'm going to see what's here isn't really true, because I need to see that every moment. Every moment is a new year for me, because my neural pathways are so locked into this habit of seeing what's missing that in order to change that, this is my little nutrition thing, but to change the brain, you need to really keep practicing a new way. And so fortunately, I'm originally from New York. I lived in New York City. I lived in Seattle. I lived in Tucson. So I have been a city girl. Living here has been a blessing because everyone's friendly. You walk down the streets and people say hi. I walk my dog and it's like the familiar faces. I don't know who they are. I don't know what they do, but we all smile at each other. Even going to the coffee shop, which hopefully I'll be stopping at some point. There's some kind of family that you can really access here in Ashland. And so there is a way to not feel alone, even when you are living alone and being alone, not having a partner or whatever. And so I just want to offer that we are here in love, and that's what the common thread is in all of us. It doesn't matter what our personalities are. The core of how we meet is in the heart. And when I look at everyone here, I can really see it. It's a reflection of ourselves. And I'm grateful. My goal in life is to accept what is. If I can just say yes to, okay, I'm alone this year, and that's the way it is. Instead of comparing or accepting my body, okay, this is the way it is. Instead of comparing and suffering with the comparing. So, I think for me it's like really investigating the mind, what the mind does, and trying to just redirect it at times, and also allowing you to feel what you need to feel. If I need to feel lonely, I'm going to feel lonely. But not to attach to it, not to identify to it, not to make it, who I am is only this. And I've done that, and so I'm committed to just accepting myself and accepting what is here, and to see love, to redirect myself to love as much as I can, even when I'm angry. Even when I'm scared. Love doesn't have to change the feeling. It can just be embraced, like embracing everything. And so that's all I have to say for today. But thank you. I'm so grateful for all of you in this community and to be part of it. I've been really reflecting on my life, and are things still right? I volunteer a lot here, and is it still something that gives me satisfaction? And I say yes.
Thank you, Jane. So this is from the movie Beaches. It's called Wind Beneath My Wings. So isn't it something to allow our friends to be the wind beneath our wings, and then also to be our own support system? being in community and being on our own at the same time. It must have been cold there in my shadow to never have sunlight on your face. You were content to let me shine. That's your way. You always want to step behind. So I was the one with all the glory, while you were the one with all the strength. A beautiful face without a name for so long. A beautiful smile to hide the pain. Did you ever know that you're my hero? And everything I would like to be. Well, I can fly higher than an eagle, 'cause you are the wind beneath my wings. It might have appeared to go unnoticed, but I've got it all here in my heart. I want you to know I know the truth. Of course I know it. I would be nothing without you. Did you ever know that you're my hero? And everything I would like to be. I can fly higher than an eagle, 'cause you are the wind beneath my wings. Did you ever know that you're my hero? You're everything, everything I wish I could be. Oh, and I can fly higher than an eagle, 'cause you are the wind beneath my wings. Fly, fly away. You let me fly so high. Oh, fly, fly so high against the sky, so high I almost touch the sky. Thank you, thank you, thank God for you. The wind beneath my wings.
Thank you. That was so beautiful. That was from Beaches. Certainly a wonderful song or movie about friendship. Can I have a little more mic on this, please? So that takes us into our time of meditation as we reflect on some of the things that we've been hearing and sensing. So just allowing yourself to relax into your chair, feeling totally supported in your chair. And if you're comfortable with closing your eyes, allow your eyes to gently close. Allow your heart to gently open. And just take a deep breath in, just feeling the love. For love is all there really is. And just releasing any tension that you brought with you. and relax. Feeling that wind beneath your wings. There's something happening, something extraordinary, something humanity has anticipated for thousands of years. We're waking up. We are waking up to the truth of our nature. The veil is being removed from our own self-knowing. We're able to step into being our most creative selves, harmonizing with the Christ consciousness. It's being birthed inside each one of us. It's very subtle. Can you feel it? We're experiencing more and more each day the truth that we are creative beings. With every thought, with every word, with every breath, we are creating. The very purpose of life is to create and to recreate ourselves anew in each moment as the next grandest version of the greatest vision we ever held about who we are. Who will you be in 2013? Knowing that you are one with the very power that created you, who will you be? God is pure energy, the cause of everything that occurs. You are the director of that energy. You are in the process of creating the very memories of your future. What will your future hold? Will you be surrounded by friends? Will you be that friend to another who reaches out to you? Friendship. It brings us together. It reminds us of our oneness. It's a supreme awareness that pulls us towards one another. There seems to be an internal guidance system that directs us intuitively and compellingly towards each other, the ignoring of which creates loneliness, misery, separation. In our longing to know ourselves, we yearn for that feeling of connection with other human beings. We hunger for the deep knowing that we are not alone. That is the purpose of friendship. A true friend lives outside the space of expectation. He expects nothing. She desires nothing more than what shows up. A true friend has intentions, but not expectations and no requirements. Will you be that kind of friend to another? Will you gather around you others who can love without condition? Imagine that you are setting the stage of your new year, because you are, you know. What memories are you building that you will one day reminisce about? This is the time for creation, creating the future you. Feel into this indescribable lightness of being and the great contentment arising as this awareness settles in. Open your heart. Feel the truth that you are the light of the world, that the Christ light shines through you to bless those around you. The future is in your hands, in your heart, your oneness with all that is. Today will one day be a memory. This moment will be a memory. And you can create memories of joy or memories of sadness. What will you create? Just taking another deep breath. And as you gently return to this room, you may feel these truths deep in your heart. You may take these truths with you. And once again, feeling the support of that chair beneath you. Feeling the support of the wind beneath your wings itself. And gently returning to this space and this time. And when you're ready, just allow your eyes to open and come back and look around at all of your friends. I have the privilege of introducing Karen Douglas today. Karen has been a member of our community for 2.5 years. She used to live in Houston, Texas, and she is now a member of the Actors Equity and the Screen Actors Guild. When she lived in Houston, she was the artistic director of the Actors Workshop there, and she produced some 60 plays there. She's a very, very talented lady. You may have experienced her, was it last Easter when you played Claudia. She's going to be today reading a story to us called A Christmas Memory. Now, this is a story that was written by Truman Capote. It is largely autobiographical for him. This story takes place back in the 1930s, and it was first published in Mademoiselle magazine in 1956. And since that time, it's been appearing in books, in recordings, on stage. It was in a couple of television productions. This is a story about friendship, about innocence, and about the joy of giving in a gentler time. So we hope that the love and sweetness that it reminds us of can carry us into this new year. So I'm inviting you now to please give a warm welcome to Karen Douglas.
A Christmas Memory by Truman Capote. Imagine a morning in late November, a coming of winter morning quite a few years ago. Consider a kitchen in a spreading old house in a country town. A great black stove is its main feature, but there is also a big round table and a fireplace with 2 rocking chairs placed in front. A woman with shorn white hair is standing at the kitchen window. She is wearing tennis shoes, an old gray sweater over a summery calico dress. She is small and sprightly like a Bantam hen. Her face is remarkable, craggy-like, but it is delicate too, finely boned, and her eyes are sherry-colored and timid. "Oh my," she exclaims, her breath smoking the window, "it's fruitcake weather." The person to whom she is speaking is myself. I am 7 years old. She is 60-something. We are cousins, very distant cousins. We have lived together, well, as long as I can remember. Other people inhabit the house, relatives, and though they have power over us and sometimes make us cry, we are on the whole not too much aware of them. We are each other's best friend. She calls me Buddy, in memory of the boy who was formerly her best friend. The other Buddy died when she was still a child. She is still a child. "I knew it before I got out of bed," she says. "The courthouse bell sounded so cold and clear. There were no birds singing. They'd gone to warmer country, yes indeed. Oh, Buddy, stop stuffing yourself with that biscuit and fetch our buggy. Help me find my hat. We've 30 cakes to bake." The hat is found. A straw cartwheel with velvet roses out of doors is faded. Together, we guide our buggy, a dilapidated baby carriage, out into the garden, into the grove of pecan trees. The buggy is mine, that is, it was given to me when I was born. It's made of wicker and rather unraveled, and the wheels wobbled like a drunkard's legs. But it is a faithful object. In winter, we use it as a truck for hauling firewood from the yard to the kitchen, and as a warm bed for Queenie, our tough little orange and white terrier, who has survived distemper and 2 rattlesnake bites. Queenie is trotting beside it now. 3 hours later, we're back in the kitchen, hulling a heaping buggy load of windfall pecans, the main crop having been sold by the orchard's owners, who are not us. A cheery crunch, and shells collapse, and the golden mound of sweet ivory meat mounts in the milk glass bowl. Queenie bakes to taste, and now and then my friend sneaks her a mite, though insisting we deprive ourselves. We mustn't, buddy. If we start, we won't stop. At last, we toss the final hull in the fire, and with joined sighs watch it catch fire. The buggy is empty, the bowl is brimful. We eat our supper, cold biscuits, bacon, and blackberry jam, and discuss tomorrow. Tomorrow is the kind of work I like best, buying. Cherries and citron and ginger and vanilla and canned Hawaiian pineapple and rinds and raisins and walnuts and whiskey and oh, so much flour, butter, so many eggs, spices, flavorings. Why, we'll need a pony to pull the buggy home. But before these purchases can be made, there is the question of money. Neither of us has any. Except for the splendid amount persons in the house occasionally provide, a dime is considered very big money. What we earn ourselves from various activities like holding rummage sales, selling buckets of hand-picked blackberries, rounding up flowers for funerals and weddings. Once we won 79th prize, $5, in a national football contest. Not that we know a fool thing about football, it's just that we enter any contest we hear about. At the moment, our hopes are centered on the $25,000 grand prize being offered to name a new coffee. We suggest AM. And after some hesitation, because my friend thought it might be sacrilegious, the slogan AM Amen. To tell the truth, our only really profitable enterprise was the Fun and Freak Museum we conducted at a backyard woodshed 2 summers ago. The Fun was a slideshow of Washington and New York that was lent to us by a relative who had been to those places. The Freak was a 3-legged chicken hatched by one of our own hens. Everybody hereabouts wanted to see that biddy. We charged grown-ups a nickel and kids 2 cents. And took in a good $20 before the museum shut down due to the decease of the main attraction. But one way or another, we do each year accumulate a Christmas savings of fruitcake fund. These monies are hidden in an ancient bead purse, under a loose board, under the floor, under a chamber pot, under my friend's bed. The purse is seldom removed from this safe location except to make a deposit, or, as happens every Saturday, a withdrawal. For on Saturdays, I'm allowed 10 cents to go to the picture show. My friend has never been to a picture show, nor does she intend to. I'd rather hear you tell the story, buddy. That way I can imagine it more. Besides, a person my age shouldn't squander their eyes. When the Lord comes, let me see him clear. In addition to never having seen the movie, she has never eaten in a restaurant, traveled more than 5 miles from home, read anything except the funny papers and the Bible, worn cosmetics, cursed, wished someone harm, told a lie on purpose, or let a hungry dog go hungry. Here are a few things she has done, does do. Killed with a hoe the biggest rattlesnake ever seen in this county, 16 rattles. Give snuff secretly. Tame hummingbirds till they balance on her finger. Talk to herself, take walks in rain, grow the prettiest petunias in town, and know the recipe for every sort of old-time Indian cure, including a magical wart remover. Now, with supper finished, we retire to the room in a faraway part of the house where my friend sleeps in a wrought iron bed, painted rose pink, her favorite color. We take the bead purse from its secret place and spill its contents onto the bed. Dollar bills rolled tightly, 50-cent pieces, dimes, nickels, quarters. but mostly a hateful heap of pennies. Last summer, others in the house contracted to pay us a penny for every 25 flies we killed. Oh, the carnage of August. The flies that flew to heaven. Yet it was not work in which we took pride. And yet, as we sit here counting the pennies, it's as though we were back tabulating dead flies. Neither of us has a head for figures. We count, lose track, start again. According to her calculations, we have $12.73. According to mine, 13. I do hope you're wrong, buddy. We can't mess around with 13. The cakes will fall. Why, I wouldn't dream of getting out of bed on the 13th. This is true. She always spends 13ths in bed. So to be on the safe side, we subtract a penny and throw it out the window. Of the ingredients that go into our fruitcakes, whiskey is the most expensive, as well as the hardest to obtain. State law forbids its sale. But everybody knows you can buy a bottle from Mr. Ha Ha Jones. And the next day we set out for Mr. Ha Ha's business establishment, a sinful, to quote public opinion, fish fry and dancing cafe down by the river. We've been here before and on the same errand. But in previous years, our dealings have been with Ha Ha's wife, a dark Indian woman with brassy peroxided hair and a dead tired disposition. Actually, we've never laid eyes on her husband, though we've heard that he's an Indian too, a giant with razor scars on his cheeks. They call him Ha Ha because he's so gloomy. As we approach the cafe, a large log cabin festooned with chains of Gary's naked light bulbs, our steps slow down. Even Queenie stops prancing and sticks close by. People have been murdered in Ha Ha's cafe, cut to pieces, hit on the head. Naturally, these goings-on happen at night when the colored lights cast crazy patterns in the Victrola whales. In the daytime, Ha Ha's is shabby and deserted. I knock at the door. Queenie barks. My friend calls, "Mrs. Ha Ha, ma'am? Anyone to home?" Footsteps. The doors open. Our hearts overturn. It is Mr. Ha Ha Jones himself. And he is a giant. He does have scars. He doesn't smile. No, he glowers at us through Satan-like eyes and demands to know, "What you want with Ha Ha?" For a moment, we are too paralyzed to tell. Presently, my friend half finds her voice, whispery at best. "If you please, Mr. Ha Ha, we'd like a bottle of your finest whiskey." His eyes tilt more. Would you believe it? Ha Ha is smiling. "Which one of you is a drinking man?" "It's for making fruitcakes, Mr. Ha Ha. Cooking." He freckles. That's no way to waste good whiskey. Nevertheless, he retreats to the shadowed cafe and seconds later appears carrying a bottle of yellow, unlabeled liquor. He demonstrates its sparkle in the sunlight and says, $2. We pay him with nickels and dimes and pennies. Suddenly, jangling the coins in his hand like a fistful of dice, his face softens. "Tell you what, pouring the money back into our beef purse. Just send me one of them fruitcakes instead." "Well," my friend remarks on our way home, "there's a lovely man. We'll put an extra cup of raisins in his cake." In 4 days, our work is done. 31 cakes, dampened with whiskey, bask on the windowsills and shelves. Who are they for? Friends. Not necessarily neighbor friends. Indeed, the largest share are intended for persons we've only met once, perhaps not at all. People who've struck our fancy, like President Roosevelt, like Reverend and Mrs. J.C. Lucy, Baptist missionaries to Borneo, who lectured here last winter, or the little night grinder who comes through town twice a year, or Abner Packer, the driver of the 6 o'clock bus from Mobile, who exchanges waves with us when he passes, or the young Winstons, a California couple whose car broke down outside the house and who spent a pleasant hour chatting with us on the porch. Young Mr. Winston snapped our picture, the only one we've ever had taken. It is because my friend is shy with everyone except strangers that these strangers seem our truest friends. And I think also the scrapbooks we keep of thank yous on White House stationery, time-to-time communications from California and Borneo, the knife grinder's penny postcards. All this makes us feel connected to the worlds beyond the kitchen window. Now, a December fig branch grates against the window. The kitchen is empty. The cakes are gone. Yesterday we carted the last of them to the post office, where the cost of stamps turned our purse inside out. We're broke. I'm rather depressed. But my friend insists on celebrating with the 2 inches of whiskey left in Ha-Ha's bottle. Queenie has a spoonful in a bowl of coffee. She likes her coffee chicory flavored and strong. We divide the rest in a pair of jelly glasses. We're both quite awed at the prospect of drinking straight whiskey. The taste of us brings screwed up expressions and sour shudders. But by and by, we begin to sing. 2 of us singing different songs simultaneously. I don't know the words to mine, just come on along to the dark town strutter's ball. But I can dance. That's what I need to be, a tap dancer in the movies. My dancing shadow rollicks on the walls. Our voices rock the chinaware. We giggle, and as if unseen hands were tickling us. Queenie rolls on her back. Her paws plow the air. And something like a grin stretches her black lips. Inside myself, I feel all warm and sparkly, carefree as the wind in the chimney. My friend waltzes around the stove, the hem of her calico skirt pinched beneath her fingers as though it were a party dress. Show me the way to go home. Show me the way to go home. Enter 2 relatives, very angry, potent, with eyes that scold, tongues that scald. A child of 7, whiskey on his breath. Are you out of your mind? Feeding a child of 7 whiskey? Must be loony. Road to ruination. Remember Cousin Kate? Uncle Charlie? Uncle Charlie's brother-in-law? Shame. Scandal. Humiliation. Kneel, pray, beg the Lord for forgiveness. Queenie sneaks under the stove. My friend gazes at her shoes. Her chin quivers. She lifts her skirt, blows her nose, and runs to her room. Long after the town has gone to sleep, she is weeping into her pillow. Don't cry, I say, sitting at the bottom of her bed and shivering despite my flannel long johns. Don't cry. I began teasing her toes, tickling her feet. You're too old for that. It's because, she hiccups, I am too old. Old and funny. Not funny. Fun. More fun than anybody. Listen, if you don't stop crying, you'll be so tired tomorrow we can't go cut a tree. She straightens up. Queenie jumps on the bed where Queenie is not allowed. I know where we'll find real pretty trees. And holly, too, with berries as big as your eyes. It's way off in the woods, further than we've ever been. Well now, I can't wait for morning. Morning, the sun round as an orange balances on the horizon. A wild turkey calls. Soon, by the edge of knee-deep, rapid running water, we abandon the buggy. Queenie wades the stream first, paddles across, barking complaints at the swiftness of the current. We follow, holding our shoes and equipment, a hatchet and a burlap sack, above our heads. A mile more of thorns, burrs, and briars that catch at our clothes. Another creek to cross. On the further shore, Queenie shakes herself and trembles. My friend shivers too, not with the cold, but with excitement. She lifts her head and inhales the pine-heavy air. We're almost there. Can you smell it, buddy? She says, as though we were approaching an ocean. And indeed, it is kind of an ocean. Scented acres of holiday trees, prickly leaf holly. Having stuffed our burlap sacks with enough greenery to guard a dozen windows, we set about choosing a tree. It should be, she muses, twice as tall as a boy, so a boy can't steal the star. The one we pick is twice as tall as me. A handsome brute that survives 30 hatchet strokes before it keels in a rending cry. Lugging it like kill, we commenced the long trek home. Many compliments accompany our sunset return, but my friend is shy and non-committal when passers-by praise the treasure perched in our buggy. My, what a fine tree. Where did that come from? Yonder ways, she murmurs vaguely. Once a car stops and the rich mill owner's lazy wife leans out and whines, "Give you 2 bits cash for that old tree." Ordinarily, my friend is afraid of saying no, but on this occasion she promptly shakes her head. "We wouldn't take $1." The mill owner's wife persists. $1 my foot, 50 cents, that's my last offer. Goodness, woman, you can get another one. In answer, my friend gently reflects, "I doubt it. There's never 2 of anything." Home. Queenie slumps by the fire and sleeps till tomorrow, snoring loud as a human. A trunk in the attic contains a shoebox of ermine tails off the opera cake of a lady who once stayed here. Coils of frazzled tinsel gone gold with age, 1 silver star, a brief rope of dilapidated, undoubtedly dangerous light bulbs. Excellent decorations as far as they go, which isn't far enough. My friend wants our tree to blaze like a Baptist window. We can't afford the made-in-Japan splendors at the 5 and dime, so we do what we've always done. Sit for days at the kitchen table with scissors and crayons and stacks of colored paper. I make sketches and my friend cuts them out. Lots of cats and fish because they're easy to draw. And a few winged angels devised from saved-up sheets of Hershey bar tinfoil. We use safety pins to attach these creations to the tree. And as a final touch, we sprinkle the branches with shredded cotton, picked in August for this purpose. My friend surveys the effects. She claps her hands together. "Now, honest, buddy, doesn't that look good enough to eat?" Queenie tries to eat an angel. After weaving holly wreaths for all the front windows, our next project is the fashioning of family gifts. Tie-dye scarves for the ladies, for the men, home-brewed lemon and licorice and aspirin syrup to be taken at the first symptoms of a cold and after hunting. But when it comes time for making each other's gift, my friend and I separate and work secretly. I would like to buy her a pearl-handled knife, a radio, and a whole pound of chocolate-covered cherries. She tasted some once and she always swears, "I could live on them, buddy. Lord, yes, I could." And that's not taking his name in vain. Instead, I am building her a kite. She would like to give me a bicycle. She said so on several million occasions. "If I only could, buddy. It's bad enough in life to do without something you want. But confound it, what gets my goat is not being able to give somebody something you want them to have." Instead, I'm fairly certain that she is building me a kite too. The same as last year, and the year before that. The year before that, we exchanged slingshots. All of which is fine by me, for we are champion kite flyers. My friend, more accomplished than I, can get a kite aloft when there isn't enough breeze, carry the clouds. Christmas afternoon, we scrape together a nickel and go to the butcher's to buy Queenie's traditional gift, a good gnawable beef bone. The bone, wrapped in funny paper, is placed high in the tree near the silver star. Queenie knows it's there. She squats at the tree, in a trance of greed. When bedtime arrives, she refuses to budge. Her excitement is equaled by my own. I kick the covers and turn my pillow as though it were a scorching summer night. Buddy, are you awake? My friend is calling from her room. An instant later, she is sitting on my bed. Well, I can't sleep a hoot, she declares. My mind's jumping like a jackrabbit. Buddy, do you think Mrs. Roosevelt will serve our cake at Christmas dinner? We huddle in the bed and she squeezes my hand. Seems like your hand used to be so much smaller. I guess I hate to see you grow up. When you're grown up, will we still be friends? I say, always. Buddy, she hesitates as though embarrassed. I made you another kite. Then I confess I made her one too, and we laugh. Later, possibly we doze, but the beginnings of dawn splashes like cold water and we're up, wide-eyed. We wait for the others to awaken. Quite deliberately, my friend drops a kettle on the kitchen floor. I tap dance in front of the kitchen door. Closed doors. One by one, the household emerges, looking as though they'd like to kill us both, but it's Christmas, so they can't. First, a gorgeous breakfast. Just everything you can imagine, from flapjacks to fried squirrel to hominy grits and honey in the comb, which puts everyone in a good humor, except my friend and I. Frankly, we're so impatient to get at the presents, we can't eat a mouthful. Well, I'm disappointed. Who wouldn't be? The socks, a Sunday school shirt, some handkerchiefs, a hand-me-down sweater, and a year's subscription to a religious magazine for children, The Little Shepherd. It makes me boil. It really does. My friend has a better haul. A sack of tangerines is her best present. She is proudest, however, of a white wool shawl knitted by her married sister. But she says her favorite gift is the kite I built her. And it is very beautiful, though not as beautiful as the one she made me, which is blue scattered with gold and green good conduct stars. Once more, it has my name, Buddy. Buddy, the wind is blowing. And the wind is blowing, and nothing will do until we run to the pasture below the house where Queenie has scooted to bury her bone. And where a winter hence, Queenie will be buried too. There, we unreel our kites, feel them twitching at the string like skyfish as they swim into the wind. Satisfied, sun-warmed, we sprawl in the grass, peel tangerines, and watch our kites cavort. Soon I forget the socks and the hand-me-down sweater. I'm as happy as if we already had won that $25,000 grand prize in that coffee naming contest. My, how foolish I am, she says. You know what I've always thought, she said in a tone of discovery? I've always thought a body would have to be sick and dying before they saw the Lord. And I imagined that when he came, it would be like looking at a Baptist window, pretty colored glass with the sun pouring through. But I'll wager it never happens. I'll wager at the very end a body realizes the Lord has already shown himself. And what we've always seen was seeing him. As for me, I can leave the world with today in my eyes. This is our last Christmas together. Life separates us. Those who know best decide that I belong in a military school. And so follows a miserable succession of bugle-blowing prisons. I have a new home, too, but it doesn't count. Home is where my friend is, and there I never go. And there she remains, puttering around the kitchen, along with Queenie, then alone. Buddy dear, she writes in her wild, hard-to-read script, yesterday Jim's Macy kicked Queenie bad. Be thankful she didn't feel much. I wrapped her in a fine linen sheet and rode her down in the buggy to Simpson's pasture where she can be with all her bones. For a few Novembers, she continues to bake her fruitcakes single-handed. Not as many, but some, and of course she always sends me the best of the batch. Also in every letter, she encloses a dime wadded in toilet paper. See a picture show and write me the story. But gradually, in her letters, she tends to confuse me with her other friend, the buddy that died. And more, 13ths are not the only day she stays in bed. I need that page. I'm missing a page. And more, the 13ths are not the only days she stays in bed. A morning arrives in November, a coming of winter morning, where she cannot rouse herself to exclaim, "Oh my, it's fruitcake weather." When that happens, I know it. A message saying so merely confirms a piece of news some secret vein in me has already received, severing from me an irreplaceable part of myself, letting it loose like a kite on a string. That is why, walking across the school campus on this particular December morning, I keep searching the sky, as if I expected to see a lost pair of kites hurrying towards heaven.
Memories light the corners of my mind, misty watercolor memories of the way we were. Scattered pictures of the smiles we left behind, smiles we gave to one another, of the way we were. Can it be that it was all so simple then? Or is time rewritten every line? If we had the chance to do it all again, tell me, would we? Could we? Memories may be beautiful, and yet what's too painful to remember, we simply choose to forget. So it's the laughter we will remember whenever we're together, the way we were, the way we were. For paper and strings, you can have your own set of wings. With your feet on the ground, you're a bird in flight, with your fist holding tight to the string of your kite. Oh, instead of ending with a peace song like we do many times, that we would end with a traditional New Year's song. It's actually an old Scottish song I just found out by Robert Burns. And the words, should auld acquaintance be forgot and never brought to mind, should auld acquaintance be forgot, and auld lang syne. And auld lang syne means, in a nutshell, I had to write it on my hand. Not that hard. Time's gone by. For auld lang syne, my dear, for auld lang syne. We'll talk a cup of kindness yet, for auld lang syne. And we're going to use like the Scottish brogue. Instead of take a cup, we're going to say talk a cup. Talk a cup of kindness. Happy New Year, everyone.